following program, The Russ Belville Show, is intended for responsible adults only. We advocate to the repeal of marijuana prohibition for adults. We discuss the science, culture, and controversy about America's marijuana laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity and encourage all listeners to learn their state and federal marijuana laws. Opinions and claims made by guests and advertisers on The Russ Belville Show are their own, and The Russ Belville Show cannot be held legally responsible for their validity or reliability. Viewer discretion is advised.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Spanning the continent to bring you the truth about cannabis and marijuana law reform.
I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
From the promise of legalization.
And I think that we need to rethink and decriminalize our marijuana laws.
To the agony of prohibition.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me.
Now, here's your host, Radical Russ Belville.
We love it.
Ah, yes, good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome. It is Thursday, June 6, 2013, and it's got to be 420 somewhere in the world. This is day 4 of our 4-day excursion to Denver, Colorado, the most legal place on earth, and we are so excited to be at this live location. We're in the conference room of a medical marijuana center right here in Denver, Colorado, River Rock MMC. You can follow on Twitter at RR_wellness. We got Norton here, the founder and one of the co-owners. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Russ. How you doing?
Thank you for the tour. We're going to show people some videos in the second half hour here. We'll also get a chance to talk to Norton about the business and what's going on with regulations and this real boom that's going on here in Colorado. So thank you for having us here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see you here in Colorado. Like always, you're one of the leading voices in the movement, and we appreciate everything you do.
Oh, that's swell, man. I love that. All right, let's get to this. We have such a great show for you today. Of course, today is Groovin' Thursday for our daily Toker Tune. So at 20 after, Bago Schwago, the only time we have Bago Schwago on the show is for Thursdays. And he's going to bring us here some great hip-hop from, I think it's MP205 is his name. We'll check that out, called Burnin' at the 20 after break. Also, we have got some behind the headlines for you today. The cops, the crime commission in Chicago, Illinois, is calling for the governor to veto what would be the strictest medical marijuana law in the country. We'll talk all about that and why they're fighting for their job, so to speak. Also, like I said, at the bottom half of the hour, we're going to talk here with Norton. We're going to show you some great videos we just shot maybe an hour ago at the grow, at this MMC. They're 100% vertically integrated here at River Rock. So you get it from the seed to the sale. We'll show you the processes, the security, everything that's going on here that makes Colorado the most well-regulated state when it comes to medical marijuana distribution. Also, in the second half hour, we'll have some more time to talk with Norton. Maybe some other folks will stop in here. We'll just get some friendly discussion in hour 2. And we've got video from the Aspen Legal Seminar. Michael Levinson, who is the attorney for Daisy Bram, the young mother whose babies were literally ripped off her breasts while they were feeding, literally ripped away from their mother over marijuana cultivation. We got updates from him in the normal Aspen Legal Seminar. Plenty of stuff to get to, so we're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we will bring you the news. Also, more details on tomorrow's trip to Texas.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the only way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at www.omarfigueroa.com. This is your 420 Radio News for Thursday, June 6, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Vermont marijuana decriminalization signed into law. It reduces penalties for possession of up to an ounce. This from Huffington Post. Vermont Governor Pete Shumlin signed a bill on Thursday decriminalizing possession of small amounts of marijuana. The new law, which goes into effect July 1st, will remove criminal penalties on possession of up to an ounce of cannabis and replace them with civil fines. According to the new measure, first-time marijuana offenders will not get more than a $200 fine for possession. The fine will increase for repeat offenders. Under the law, marijuana possession will no longer result in the creation of a criminal record. Vermont legalized medical marijuana in 2004 and now joins 14 other states that have adopted decriminalization laws for non-medical cannabis. In 2012, voters in 2 additional states, Washington and Colorado, approved ballot measures to tax and legalize marijuana for recreational use among those 21 years old and above. Louisiana marijuana bill snuffed out on Senate floor from NOLA.com. A bill seeking to reduce penalties for simple marijuana possession died on the Louisiana Senate floor Thursday after the legislation failed 3 times to garner the votes necessary to begin debate. "I'm done. That's it," Senator J.P. Morrell, Democrat of New Orleans, was heard saying as he walked away from the podium. House Bill 103, sponsored by State Representative Austin Baden, Democrat of New Orleans, needed a 2/3 vote of state senators to even be brought up for debate this late in the 2013 legislative session. After failing to get the 26 votes needed twice Wednesday, Morrell said he would try once more on the last day of the session, but that effort fell again short, this time just by 2 votes. Baden's bill would have reduced the jail time to not more than 2 years for repeat offenders, 5 years for 3-time offenders, and 8 years for those convicted 4 or more times. The maximum fine for possession would also have been lessened from $5,000 to $2,500. New Jersey Senate panel supports bill to make medical marijuana available to kids from CBS New York. A New Jersey Senate panel has approved a measure that would make it easier for children to have access to medical marijuana. The Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday approved the bill that would eliminate requiring written confirmation from a pediatrician and a psychiatrist in order for juveniles to get medical marijuana. The bill also calls for medical marijuana to be produced in edible form and allows more strains to be made available. The father of a 2-year-old girl who has a severe form of epilepsy testified about being unable to obtain certification from a psychiatrist for his child to participate. Colorado regulators won't enforce marijuana magazine restrictions from the Denver Post. Colorado regulators will not enforce, at least initially, a new law requiring marijuana-themed magazines to be kept behind the counter at stores that sell them. In an emergency rule issued Wednesday, regulators with the State Marijuana Enforcement Division concluded the law is unconstitutional. Quote, "Such a requirement would violate the U.S. Constitution, the Colorado Constitution, and state law," the rule states. The state's Attorney General's office signed off on the emergency rule. The law has prompted 2 lawsuits in federal court challenging its constitutionality, one by 3 marijuana-themed publications and another by booksellers and backed by the American Civil Liberties Union. The lawsuits say the law violates free speech by restricting distribution of the magazines based on their content. Pentagon allays fears about local marijuana from the Colorado Springs Business Journal. The Colorado Springs business leaders and retired generals have been waging a public relations campaign suggesting the military might cut back on assets in Colorado Springs if the city council doesn't ban retail sales of marijuana, now permitted under Amendment 64. That's news to the Pentagon. The Pentagon isn't worried about legalized marijuana because of the zero-tolerance policy in place since the Reagan administration. The military has a random system for testing individuals. Local business leaders admit no one has confirmed their concerns that the military will depart or cut troops in the Springs if retail sales are available. Still, the fear and the public push remain. That uncertainty is behind a recent campaign to ban retail sales. Recreational use by anyone 21 and older is allowed under Amendment 64, and a retail ban won't change that or the option to obtain medical marijuana. And finally, the Texas Regional Normal Conference begins this weekend, June 7th, 8th, and 9th in Fort Worth, Texas. Visit dfwnormal.org/conference for more information. I will be emceeing the after-hours events on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, also presenting 2 presentations on Saturday and Sunday, including The Box Canyon of Medical Marijuana and Successful Argument Against Project SAM. We'll bring you live coverage right here on 420radio.org. This has been your 420 Radio News for Thursday, June 6, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at medical marijuana in the state of Illinois. Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org. Let them bring in the beat.
You still don't get it, do you? Alright, let me make this as clear as I possibly can. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
You want to legalize it? Call your congressman today. 202-224-3121. It's free, it's easy, and you don't even have to give your name, just your zip code, and they'll hook you up to your congressman. Call 202-224-3121 and tell Congress you support marijuana legalization.
Liberate your mind. Liberate your mind.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 13 after the hour. Time for us to go behind the headlines. And, of course, we've been following this medical marijuana bill in the state of Illinois. And you may have caught some of my analysis of it. It would be the most restrictive medical marijuana bill in the nation. First of all, it's set up to be a 4-year pilot program. So patients could suddenly get the right to use cannabis, discover it's a miracle for them, and then 4 years later it could all go away off the whim of, the legislature or whatever. So first of all, I think that's kind of cruel in the first place. At least make it, if you're going to do a 4-year pilot program, the people who get into it could be grandfathered in at least to not get busted for weed. It's just sad. Some other things that they're including in this, a 33 condition list of qualifying conditions. There's no chronic pain. There's no severe nausea. It's very, very detailed, especially the pain conditions for which you have to have, all sorts of documentation. You have to have tried every other possible remedy and surgery and pharmaceutical before you can even attempt to use cannabis. So much about this is very restrictive. Of course, no home grow, as we've seen is the pattern from the past 7 states that have passed medical cannabis. Illinois would be 8. New Hampshire would be 9. New York would be 10 that are not allowing for home grow. So there's that issue with respect to this. But I want to get to this story because it kind of reveals a flaw, if you will, in the thinking of our opponents that oftentimes I don't think we take advantage of, and maybe we should. So let's check this out. This is from CBSLocal.com. The headline is Crime Commission asks governor to veto medical marijuana bill because we want the marijuana to remain criminal. All right, let's go on to it. The Chicago Crime Commission has urged Governor Pat Quinn to veto medical marijuana legislation approved by state lawmakers earlier this year. The commission said legalizing medical marijuana would, quote, present serious public safety risks to the citizens of the state, end quote. You know, how like the other 19 states passed medical marijuana and the sky fell and there was chaos in the streets, right? Anyway, back to the story. The governor has said he is open-minded on medical marijuana, but has not said if he would sign the legislation approved by the Illinois General Assembly. Crime Commissioner Executive Director Joe Ways said the amount of marijuana patients would be allowed to have is too high. Quote, allowing each cardholder 2.5 ounces of marijuana every 2 weeks will provide a surplus of marijuana that will undoubtedly find its way into the wrong hands and have significant law enforcement implications, end quote, Ways said in a written statement. So think about what that position really says. If we let people have, if we have a medical marijuana program, we let sick people have a decent amount of marijuana, and this is something else that has to be, brought up, is when they bring up 2.5 ounces, and cops talk about this, the typical consumer is in the 1/8 ounce area, somewhere in that range, right? So you say 2.5 ounces, people go, oh my God, that's a huge amount of weed. That's dealer levels. That's a major stockpile. Not for a sick person. Some of these people are going through plenty of medicine, and 2.5 ounces in a fortnight might be pushing it for some of them. They might be running out toward that 13th day. And people, they can't grasp the fact that the amounts necessary at a medical level are completely different. And so 2.5 ounces is, it's a start, but my goodness, I know a lot of people for whom that would be a difficulty. But let's get back to what their position really says. If we let sick people have 2.5 ounces of marijuana, there's a chance, undoubtedly, according to this guy, that some of it would find its way into the wrong hands. Well, what are the wrong hands? The wrong hands would be the non-medical people, right? The people not registered to the state, the people who are, healthy users of cannabis, who are getting marijuana now. They're already getting it. That's the thing that this statement, when they say this, it's almost as if they're saying, well, we don't mind cancer patients dealing with their chemotherapy, but not if some of it gets into some kid's hands to smoke a joint. So, sorry, cancer patient, we're going to have to veto this. Now, we really want to help you, but, we can't find a way to keep it out of the kid's hands. So you're going to have to suffer. That's really what it comes down to. It comes down to saying a certain segment of the population for whom cannabis could be a very beneficial treatment have to suffer because somebody healthy might get high. Even though somebody healthy is getting high now, and they're getting their marijuana from, let's say, less than savory elements sometimes. They're helping to prop up that black market, that Mexican cartel trafficking that's going on. These crime commissions, when they are lobbying against medical marijuana, it seems odd, doesn't it? If your whole point is to reduce crime, and here are sick people who, by definition right now, to get their medicine are criminals, you legalize medical marijuana, boom, less criminals. But they never seem to see it that way. You know why? Because it's a jobs issue. Has nothing to do with crime, has to do with being able to continue to bag and tag anybody with herb they find. They said it would have significant law enforcement implications. Yeah, like having to do your job, like having to enforce other laws against people who are more criminal, people who are violent, people who are actually causing problems in society. I mean, this reminds me of Mayor Bloomberg's statement the other day when he was saying, well, drug dealers, they just won't close up shop. They'll find other things to deal that'll be harder. Oh, so keeping the black market is a jobs program. It's a jobs program for the Chicago Crime Commission to continue to have people to bust. It's a jobs program for the dealers at the low level to make sure that we have something soft for them to deal. Wouldn't want to give them anything harder to deal, so we got to let them deal the weed. Is that really what they're saying here? When you really dig down into these prohibitionist statements and you take them at their face value, you can actually find the absurdity in what they're saying. A crime commission that's against reducing crime by legalizing medical marijuana, A mayor of a major American city admitting that we have to let people deal weed or else they'll deal harder stuff. I don't know to whom. I don't know who they're going to sell it to. Just listen closely and read behind the lines. You'll see a lot of this stuff. And with that sound, it is 4:20 here in the state of Colorado, where we have our constitutional rights to use medicine that comes out of the ground or to just recreate if we like. Take advantage of that. We'll take you back when we come back. Bago Schwago on the line with some Groovin' Thursday music.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? Reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Hi, I'm Keith Straub. I'm legal counsel at Normal, and I'm the old guy who founded Normal back in 1970. I also recently published a book by High Times Press entitled It's Normal to Smoke Pot. I look forward to joining you at the Texas Regional Seminar coming up on June 7th through 9th. The seminar theme is Grabbing Prohibition by the Horns. And one thing for certain, we are at the tipping point in this country, and we are well into the process of ending prohibition once and for all. Hope to see you in Fort Worth in early June. Thank you.
Big Daddy thinks.
Funky roller ring.
Oh yeah, this is Big Daddy, and I'll be your freakazoid every Thursday night, right here at the Funky Roller Ring.
Funky Roller Ring.
11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on RadicalRuss.com.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Groovin' Thursday, featuring rap, hip-hop, soul, and funk music. You can get downloads and more information about all our Daily Toker Tunes by visiting music.radicalruss.com. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday. Time for some Groovin' Thursday music. And do we have Bago Schwago on the line?
We do not.
Okay, no Bago Schwago today. But we got Brian the Red on the line. Brian, by the way, major kudos, man. You've been kicking ass running that remote studio.
Hey, you know, I pushed the button.
Pushy the button. Hey, coming up later tonight, we got Big Daddy Fink's Funky Roller Rink, 8 o'clock. It's 80s night tonight.
Oh,
so gag me with a spoon for sure, for sure.
Oh,
check it
indeed. Oh, for gaw.
It's going to be great. And a replay of Red Eye's Reggae Flashback coming up next at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Do you know which episode it is, Brian?
It should be the show from last, my last show that I did live, which was the episode 31.
Is that with the 7-inch tracks?
No, well, there was a couple 7 inches on that one, but it was just a lot of my personal favorite stuff. So,
right on. All right, well, we got no Bago Schwago today, but he did submit us a tune for our Groovin' Thursday today. I don't know a dang thing about it, but we got a picture of the artist. His name's MP205. I think that's right. And the
wait,
song...
I believe we've got Bago Schwago calling in. Let's get Bago on here, and he can give us some info. Bago Schwago, you there?
Yes, hello guys, how you doing?
Okay, looks like this put, here we go.
River Rock MMC.
There we go. Now we got
There
Russ
we go. Yes, we got Bago Schwago on the line. How you doing?
Hello guys, wow, that was an ear trip. I think I just went to 2 different worlds right now.
Very good.
Hey, it is like through the looking glass here at River Rock MMC where, you know, marijuana is well regulated, and seeing it on an industrial scale is quite the thing, man. I'm feeling through the looking glass today for sure.
I mean, you're in the best place there is right now up there in Denver. I'm super jealous, and the trip on 420 was amazing, and I hope to be out there next year for any of their future events. I mean, it was the best place, and the best place to be in the U.S., if you ask me.
Oh, yeah, it's a great, great day. All right, Bago, I'd like you to take it over here for the song intro. I don't know a thing about it.
You know, I tried to find out anything on this guy, and he's gone by like 3 or 4 different names. I found him under MP, MP205, MP the Wizard, the Freestyle Wizard. His song's name is Blowin'. He's out of Birmingham, Alabama, and he's 32 years old, and that's all I got on him.
All right, let's hit it. This is Blowin' by MP205. When we come back, we'll have interview right here at River Rock MMC, so stick around.
It's obvious I'm leaning. My eyes barely open. Niggas probably think I'm dreaming. Feel like I'm smoking NyQuil. I bet I sleep tight. How enough to bump my head on the nearest street light. Matter of fact, I done that. You might burn your contact if you catch a contact. When you come in contact with a player like me, full of Cali, Bud, and Cognac. Blowing on this purple like I'm gonna get my lungs back. Come on up to cloud 9, you get there. Bet you finding me chipping on Supreme. Hell, I like to call it 93. Hold up, give me 90 feet. You too close to me with that. Probably take my shirt off. Either way, I bet they see the test. Hustle gotta keep a stack. Smoking gotta keep a sack. Other best got to connect. Always know where the reaper at. We smoking at Regal Slacks. Money, Vicks, and Chevy things. Passing through car full of smoke. I put that there on everything. Man, we be blowing. On them Pro Tools, blowed out my mind, can't remember if I know you. Yes, I got the baddest girls around, hell, that's old news. I'm the hottest thing that hit the city since soul food. Get it in, break it down, drop it like I supposed to. Retros every day, look like I'm wearing old shoes. Finna change rims, still riding on my old shoes. In the old school, with a CD from the old school like UGK, Devin Ball and G. Hell, they calling me next. Hell, I ought to be. Bet niggas follow me to the top. From the bottom of the map, play with it. Center of the south, never drought. Cause I stayed with it. Hayes get it by the boat. Move it, ship it by the O. Plus I got the midget for niggas who never buy the dro or the kush. I'ma put money in the air tonight. Raining in the club, it's smelling funny in the air tonight. We get this bitch glowing.
Statistics show that 40% of all kids who smoke marijuana live in the city. Guess where the other 60% live?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Will. I don't work at a used record store. I don't own an iguana, although I'm sure they make great pets. I don't have dreadlocks or play the acoustic guitar. I can remember quite well, thank you, and no, I don't constantly have the munchies. When 420 comes around, I've still got 40 minutes of work left. I've never hit a girl on a bike with my car or shot my friend with a shotgun. I've never had to apologize for letting a girl I was watching drown in a pool while I was getting high because, duh, I wouldn't be getting high if I was around children. I'm a regular guy who works regular jobs, just like the majority of all Americans who use marijuana occasionally and responsibly. My name is Will, and I'm normal.
The cannabis community includes a diverse set of activists and nonprofits working to end the prohibition of marijuana. We take the time to hear the stories of reform on the Russ Belville Show's Cannabis Community Chat.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are live from River Rock MMC here in Denver, Colorado, and joining us here, we've got Norton Arbelas, is the founder and co-owner. Is that right?
Founder and co-owner, yes,
Oh,
along with some along with some great partners. How are you, Russ? Good to see you.
I'm doing fantastic, and we're just going to do a brief interview here because we got a lot of video to show that we did earlier, and want to thank you for giving us this tour. But you said you got involved in this around 2009, $250 in your pocket, and now look at this. Look what's going on. What's been tell us a little bit about this journey, going from start to what you are now.
Right. Well, kind of the summary is I was practicing medical malpractice law down in Louisiana in 2009, and the idea of being an entrepreneur and working in this new industry really, really was exciting. So at that time in 2009, I moved out here with a few friends, the smartest people that I knew from my background, and we decided to start this company called River Rock. We've grown organically from the very beginning in the sense that our relationship with this wonderful plant has really been the springboard for our success, our respect for its botanical, for its medicinal properties, our real attention to detail, our understanding that this is a plant that serves not only as a medicine, but also as a source of great solace for many of our patients.
Absolutely. And I saw, I got to observe operations and see the counseling that was going on and how your staff was very attentive to people aside from just the use of the cannabis. I mean, I saw, I was talking to, I forget his name, who was telling me the whole regimen that he recommends for cancer patients, from a juice to changing diet to balancing pH. I mean, there was a lot of detail there.
Well, certainly. This is, we've had some incredible success with very, very sick patients. It is not unusual that a patient walks in here with literally a grocery bag full of pharmaceuticals, and one after the other, the slippery slope of pharmaceutical drugs and addiction, Russ. And slowly but surely, through the use of this natural medicine, and listen, this is not a panacea. This is not for everybody, right? But there are many individuals. Particularly, we've found success with skin cancer and pancreatic cancer. Those two particular types of cancer have been incredibly receptive to the cannabinoid therapy that we administer here at River Rock.
Now, this facility, we talked about in previous shows how Colorado's law requires at least a 70% vertical integration. You're 100% vertical integration. And for people that are new to this and don't know what the heck that means, what does it mean?
Well, vertical integration, in a very short summary, is this. You have to produce what you sell. Right?
This would be like if your grocery store had to grow all its lettuce that is sold in the grocery store.
Think about the iPhone store. Think about Apple, right? Where Apple has production facilities, mostly in China, where they underpay their workers, but that's an issue for another show. But they also have their retail locations, right? And so they make their product and they sell their product. American Apparel is another example. Also farmers markets. Think about a farmer that produces its tomatoes, produces their produce, and then sells them directly to their customers. Now, the real key, the sort of policy breakthrough here, Russ, was the ability that this system gives us to tell policymakers that this medicine is not coming from black market sources. And that really is the key to the success of Colorado's regulatory framework. Unfortunately, in California, the source of people's medicine is still questionable at best, whether it's produced on public lands, whether it's produced with pesticides, any other number of issues with the production. So vertical integration was a fail-safe that was introduced in the beginning to make sure that the medicine that people were consuming was produced legitimately.
Yeah, and this can be frustrating to people in our movement, people who've been growers on a small scale or caregivers for a long time. They feel like they've been cut out, but there's just kind of a political reality there. They call it black market. We call it Bob, the guy we knew for years. So is there going to be a change in that, or is this going to be with us until, we get a much broader legalization nationwide?
Well, I'll tell you, Russ, I think in today's world and in our industry, anything is possible. We have, in the last 3 years, overcome incredibly high barriers that the previous 70 years of prohibition had put before us. I think the public sentiment, public opinion on this issue is very clear. We've seen some good reports from the Pew Center, from the Rand Corporation. For the first time in history, we enjoy over 50% support in the general public. And so ultimately, slowly by surely, but as states come on to the medical marijuana program, I think we'll see a little bit of an easing of the laws.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, we're going to take a look. We got some videos queued up here that we recorded a little bit earlier, kind of showing the different aspects, you know, from the retail sale part to the grow part, the trimming and harvesting. And we got about 30 seconds before we have to run them, so I'll give you the last word. Anything you'd like to say? If people want to get in touch with you or anything like that?
Well, it's riverrockcolorado.com, all spelled out. We're here to serve our patients, and starting January of next year, anybody over the age of 21, we'd love to see you here, riverrockcolorado.com. Thank you, Russ.
And you're going to be a part of adding on that, because I heard the medical side gets to first opportunity at joining the recreational side, and that's what your goal is?
That's right. Because we're up and running, we're going to transition then from the current medical model into a dual-use model where we will serve both our medical marijuana patients and general adult use users.
All right, let's take a look at some of those videos. Brian will run this for us live from River Rock. Check it out. There's the perks.
Now, your choice is simple. T-Mobile. Why would I buy a new phone at CarTronics?
Look how costly that thing is. I mean,
yeah, it is.
And it's ready, as you see. It's taken all the last food out of the fan leaf, properly flushed. Nothing but water for the last 10, 12 days. So it's ready to come down.
It just seems all so normal when you come and look at it. And there's people that watch these videos from Texas or Oklahoma or somewhere else, Virginia, and they just gasp at the danger.
At the end of the day, we're farmers here. We operate, pursuant to the will of the people of the state of Colorado. They voted a very specific regulatory framework, and we're here to execute it. So that's what we do.
Seems to be working. Let's take a look around at some of the other parts of this.
Look at the CBD plant. I want you to see how
big it grows. What's up with this? This is a CBD plant. Like little tiny nuggly nugs.
Yeah, and it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but my gosh, is this good medicine.
And it kind of seems like it's droopier.
Yeah, this is the River Rock CBD1.
River Rock CBD1.
And so this one we will take straight into concentrates, oils, and our Priva line of CBD capsules. Right. So this isn't even sold in bud form. You just grow this for the CBD profile.
Right. And so you're involved in the infused products manufacturing, is that right?
We have all the licenses available.
That's quite an upfront investment if you want to get involved in this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
They allow security deposits and
you're going into the 7 figures.
Wow. Wow. That's one of the things that people have lamented about this is that, it's become such a big money operation just on the ground floor. Right. Any chance of that changing sometime soon? What are we looking at? Not really. They like it this way?
In 2009, I started this company with $250.
Wow.
An idea and a business plan. And so, I think as new states come on, perhaps it'll be easier to get on the ground floor. But here in Colorado, the level of sophistication has evolved dramatically.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 years, 4 years. You see, we've got cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Hello, MED. Which used to be the MMED, but I understand they lost the letter.
Let me show you where some of that investment goes.
Okay.
So obviously we're monitoring the facility 24/7. We run 24-hour shifts here. There's always somebody here.
Always a human being on site.
Always a human being on site. The plants, actually a lot of the flowering goes on at night to avoid heat issues.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you set your 12/12s to get the benefit of the cooler temperature, sure.
This is the casino part of the operation here.
Wow. It does. It reminds me of a casino.
Exactly right. And so the rules basically say wherever there's a plant or there's a sale, there has to be a camera.
Okay.
And so as you see here, this is some of the grow rooms. Toggle through these. Some expansion areas that we have here. Some outdoor grow. Is my partner working? Right?
Big Brother is always watching.
Absolutely. Well,
and these are hooked up live to MED.
Well, they're kept on a cloud.
Okay.
And then the MMED can ask us for specific days.
Gotcha.
But we monitor everything. And then the store over here, your entrance, and we'll go through back and film it. Wherever there's a point of sale, I can actually zoom in and see what's going on. And in terms of patient privacy, everybody is an anonymous identifier. We don't use anybody's name or last name when the tagging of the plants.
Okay.
So, people need not worry about invasion of privacy. You are literally a number identifier to us and to the MMED.
Wow. You can see all these big, massive plants around here. 10-foot, 15-foot plants. It's a beautiful thing. This is what legalization looks like, people. Big old greenhouses. Every single one of these plants, by the way, is tagged. It's got its medical marijuana information on it. Get us a little photo while we're sitting here. This is the one I particularly like. This nice tall plant. Look at the stalk on this thing. Y'all see that? Jeez. The stalk there is big as a baby's forearm. And again, this thing's taller than me by far, way tall. 14 feet. Beautiful thing. Shot of this. Oh yeah. So here we are with Thornton, owner-operator of this beautiful outdoor. So you do, what's the ratio like outdoor versus indoor that you're doing?
About 16% indoor, 40% outdoor.
Yeah. What are the advantages of the outdoor ones?
Well, first of all, the ecological footprint is a lot less power consumption, this sort of thing. And we found that there are very particular strains that just like the natural light, the spectrum of light that's out here.
Sure.
There are others that prefer the more controlled and consistent temperatures that we have inside. But generally speaking, the girth and the sound of it, these ladies just love it out here.
Yeah. Now, is some of the outdoor out here for the high CBD strains you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there, the good thing is we basically just use the whole plant for that. Even there's CBD content in the roots themselves that we like to extract.
Wow, it's amazing. Just got a huge variety, any type of plant you want to see here. Massive colas, the length of your arm. I mean, look at this one. This one's running 18, 20 inches long. Every different kind you could want. Nice and crispy buds. Can get a few stills here. We'll be right back.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ernie with River Rock. I'm the master grower over here. I'm looking for a sativa plant. Well, this is a good representation of an indica plant right here. This is a 501 OG. It's a rare name strain. One of his best sellers. We really like it a lot. It has very, very high medicinal effects. Patients seem to love it. Real tight, solid colas. Whereas your sativas would be much longer. You got nice fat leaves. Not as fat as some indicas, but definitely a wider leaf base than you would normally have on a straight sativa plant. Most everything these days has got a little bit of hybrid to it anyway. I wouldn't say this is 100% indica. I'd say it's probably 85 to 90.
Yeah, hard to find the purebreds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple over here. We've got a 100% indica over here. It's called a goo plant. It's an Afgui that we've been running since probably 1996, and decided never to get rid of it. This is an interesting plant. This is one of our high CBD plants. This is a canatonic. Even though it has the real thin leaves, it's actually considered an indica dominant hybrid. But what it actually grabbed from the sativa plant is the way it grows. But apparently the medicinal effects are more on the indica. It's a high CBD, generally about 2 to 1 THC to CBD.
Sure.
So it's kind of nice. If we walk over this way, we'll go check out these food plants. We're rearranging the greenhouse right now. We're getting ready to do some replanting. We're tearing down the rest of these guys, going to clean it up and move a new batch in here. Now this, this is the train wreck, the Arcata cut.
Yeah.
This is 100% sativa. This is what a
mine.
sativa plant looks like. So,
I'm the sativa guy, man.
I'm sure you've seen the Arcata cut around for a really long time. These guys are probably right at 82, 83 days at this point in time. So we're getting ready to take most everything here down. We'll go this way. I got that.
Okay.
Now here's your 100% indica. You can see the really fat,
big fan
old
leaves.
school indica leaves. They're starting to really suck them back at this point in time. These plants haven't had food in probably 35 days at this point in time. So they're really starting to take it back out of the leaves. You know, I'm a firm believer, and if you don't see that, it's got too much food in it.
Yeah.
We call this our little goo garden over here. Another one of our big
just
canatonic
if you
plants.
can get a feeling for the size of this bud, I mean,
if you smell it, if you smell that, the goo has a really interesting terpene content, really unlike anything that you've ever, like gingerbread almost sometimes. It's like a really weird smell. You like it, but it's not like your favorite thing you've ever smelled in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so interesting though. Yeah, and the medicinal effects on that goo are really helpful to the patient.
What an amazing garden.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. We got to come back and check the new one out when we get done, for sure.
Yeah, huh?
For sure.
Unbelievable. Eric Holder, this is for you.
Is there a couple of this side here? Yeah, absolutely. The original. Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is the original River Rock flowering room.
Room 1.
This is room. Yeah, this is room number 1.
Now these guys are a little further behind and still just starting to throw them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they're about 2 weeks in at this point in time, maybe 2.5. And you know, you'd be surprised if you don't get to see it on a daily basis. You'd be surprised at the explosive growth that you get out of this plant.
Sure.
How much weight it can really pack on in the last, say, 4 or 5 weeks of growing would blow you away. So anywhere from there's probably around 50 strains in here. We have 42 lights. It's right at 200 plants, so right around 5 plants, 4.5 plants to 5 plants a light. As I said, you can see the different varieties in here. Everybody reacts a little bit different to the individual conditions that our room has, so we just try to keep everybody as happy as we can. Wow. Yes.
Oh, the smell in here is just wonderful.
So yeah, we're in our cure room we're in our trim room right now. So as you see, we've got a group of guys working on the hand trim over here.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. 420 Radio. Russ Belville.
What's up, buddy? I'm John.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
So this is going out to people all over the United States and world who wish they had your job. Nice. I'm telling you.
So this is the Harlequin. This is another one of our high CBD strains. We currently run right around 22 or 23 high CBD strains, and very high medicinal effects. You know, the patients are really all about this Harlequin right now. So, and I think it's chunky, right? Yeah, good. Nice.
Very chunky. Beautiful work, guys.
Met Bo yet? Bo Johnson. He's our extract artist.
Nice to meet you, Russ. I'll leave you guys a bunch of stickers too.
Oh my god, so weird, dude. It was like it had like the Rottweiler body with like those real little short stuffy legs and like a long eagle face, dude. Yeah. So weird, dude. Like it was huge. I was like, yeah, totally, dude. He was just super just like
Buckets of buds. Just buckets. Great work. Let's see some of these guys hanging up the truck.
Well, that's exactly what I was telling you, is that the key to regulated cannabis is regulating the production. Is being able to say, listen, our supply chain is 100% accurate. It's integrated in the sense that we produce everything that we sell. The black market does not make a penny of what we sell. This is about seed to sale control. This is about controlling the quality of the medicine, because ultimately it's our patients that are consuming this, and we take that responsibility very seriously.
Absolutely. You know, we're talking about, people with sometimes a compromised immune system.
Absolutely.
They got to have the best of the
And
best.
as you'll notice here, that even in these buckets,
there's the mark.
There's the mark.
Yeah.
That actually follows it all the way through the process. We'll see here that this came from Outdoor Garden 1. It's going to our R1 store, which is our North store. The strain name is called Grape Trainwreck. Very good strain. Wet weight is 7,900 grams. The machine trim is 2,700. The wet weight of that was 2,706. So in other words, we really go down to the 100th of a gram.
So you're measuring before and after. You're measuring with stock weight,
Absolutely.
leaves and everything, and then
look how
what you
nice
got
and
left
healthy
after
those
the trim.
buds look. This, of course, has to dry. But once you smell and comment on it,
Oh, that's beautiful. We like that a lot.
So go ahead. What were you going to say? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, dude. Ready? Hey guys, so here we are. We're in the River Rock clone. We're in the process of extending this clone out to another room right now. This, I guess, technically, this would be the first place that we had clones here. We do a dome system at this point in time. In the summertime, we run domes because it's a little warm. In the wintertime, we'll run our east clones. So we do the aeroponics. In the summertime, the water gets hot. Sure. We usually spend about 2 weeks in Butte, about another 2 weeks in these planks that you see here. And then for another 2 weeks, 2-gallon bucket, and then on to 10. So these guys are rooting right now.
Just rooting. So we're going all the way back to the beginning here.
Yeah, absolutely. Even before the beginning.
Beginning of the beginning.
Yeah.
Some Larry OG.
Oh yeah, that's a Cali Connection by Swerve. One of our favorites, one of the best sellers we have.
We love Swerve.
I mean, it is really strong.
Oh, I'll bet.
The particular one we have is super strong. So you know the difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. You guys gonna go see the shop?
Profile your face when you come in. This helps for security purposes in case anything should happen. When you walk in, we actually have what's called a man trap. And in this area, this is the first step, security checkpoint. There's another HD camera here. This is where you would provide your red card. If you were just simply as a sub vendor, you just sign in. And this is Carissa, our front person.
Hi, Carissa.
She's here to make sure that you have valid red cards and IDs, and all of your paperwork is actually bona fide. And once she has that, she actually scans you in, and we can go into the center. All right, so inside the actual center, when you first walk in, you could see the 44-foot custom bar. And in this bar, we actually have a rotation of 160 strings that we rotate in-house from seed to sale. We rotate about 60 of them every single day in the two centers.
Are there certain strains that are always in stock?
There's a certain staples that are always in stock. We have our Blackberry Kush, we have our Jack Frost, our Jack 47. All of the rare dank strains are always in stock as well, from the Venom OG, Scott's OG, 501 OG, Goat Strain Haze, number 1.
Can you fill the rest by demand or request?
It just, it comes from actually different types of cannabinoid profiles. And in our business, what we've done is when we break down these plants, we actually break down different types of medicine, and so we'll have different types of discoveries. So there's an abundance of high CBD strains as well. So we have at least 15 CBD strains, a CBD breeding project, and we try to change the different type of ratios based on those strains. So you have your staples, but then you have your exotics, you have your demand strains, like you said, but now we're getting more into the medicinal aspect, and I'll show you some of the products of why.
We've heard a lot about people really wanting these high CBD strains.
Well, and I'll tell you my philosophy and what I've developed here at River Rock with our team, and none of it really could be possible, honestly, without the regulation and the system in place forcing us to be seed through sale. Everything we do here is organic and 100% in-house, so that gives us an advantage when we're dealing with medicine, and we're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And so you'll have it first before I actually release it. It's called the River Rock ACT program. And what we've done over the last several years is we've tracked patients with patient surveys. And in those patient surveys, we've tracked different types of conditions, mainly focusing on pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, lymphoma, autoimmune disorders, chronic pain, nerve damage, lupus, MS, fibromyalgia. And in that categories, all of those types of ailments or diseases or cancer, they all work off the same principles And that has to do with inflammation, pH, and anti-inflammatory diet lifestyles.
Yeah.
So what I do with patients that are in those critical situations or terminal or facing, life-threatening diseases is first change the way that they eat and the way that their body and their organs process foods. If you're constantly drinking Coca-Cola and fast food, your pH levels are going to be at 2.2. Cancer thrives in anything under 7.0. So we have a non-MMJ superfood line that we also offer to try to get the pH in our patient's body up. And that's not easy to do unless you're dealing with that. Most people, they walk around, they go shopping for food, and they're not conscious on the pyramid or what's a pH of the food. But when you're facing something like that, you're kind of forced to. And so we create a super smoothie by Luminescent Foods, and it's 17 compounds in it. What that does is it gives your daily dose of superfoods. It's all raw, vegan, and organic, and it raises your pH, and it gets you into very healthy habits. So if you're into healthy habits of eating correctly, the inflammation that we're trying to control goes away, and it increases your chance to actually fight the diseases. I would give that about a 60% value in the entire program. Now, once we get you into the understanding of changing the way you eat and the pH in your body, then the cannabinoids and the programs that we've developed here actually will be more effective. Wow. So that's why you'll hear patient stories of curing skin cancer in 3 days instead of 30 days. And so part of that is the program that we developed here, and I'll show you what that looks like. And it's a concept that is working for all of those types of cancers and ailments. And I'll show you what that is. And these are CBD. You see, this one might be THC. So let me just show you, because you were focusing on CBD before. So there's CBD,
You're going way beyond just, selling people medicine.
This is
really helping them out with the holistic aspects.
Absolutely. So this is, when people say, cannabis is an alternative, let's look at safety profiles. Cannabinoids in itself are a safety profile of 1 in 10,000. Morphine and those prescribed medications and codeine are 1 in 10. Tylenol is 1 in 100. 1 in 100. So that means if you take 100 Tylenols, you die. So that tells you something very unique about every other drug. They're toxic to the body. Cannabinoids are not toxic to the body. However, they are toxic to cancer and other diseases. So this program is based around raising the cannabinoid toxicity levels in the body to an extreme value on a non-psychoactive approach, so you don't get that stone effect or that high. And that's really geared for adults and people dealing with the disease that they're going through. So here's what it is. We have an amino acid. So this is all about cannabinoid absorption. So the program deals with 4 steps. I'm absorbing cannabinoids through amino acids. I'm absorbing cannabinoids through fat, because on the program we have a CBD AM and a CBD PM. And everybody's seen CBD oil in a syringe. But what we do with this is the first week, if you're dealing with, say, pancreatic cancer, you're going to be dealing with cannabinoid juice. You're going to be dealing with the oil. You're going to be dealing with amino acids. You're going to be dealing with the liver. And I'm going to show you a couple products. Let me lay these all out real quick, and I'll come back to you.
Understand the world around us, know the cosmos with less doubt, to comprehend that there is something instead of nothingness throughout.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're just going to close out the show here. Again, I want to thank Norton for having us out here to River Rock MMC. What an amazing tour. Welcome. All right, and we're going to take this into hour 2. We're going to sit here with Norton, talk a little bit more, maybe have some of the other staff from River Rock come in here and talk to us, give us a little live look at what's going on in Colorado. And then at 20 after in hour 2, we got Michael Levinson from the Daisy Bram case. Stick around for Red Eyes Reggae Flashback at 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, new Big Daddy Funky Roller Rink. For Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at RadicalRuss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you